Hello, Playdate. This is Don.
This is Nick.
And I'm Ryan.
This week we are covering Playdate news.
Recent indie releases.
And bringing it to you as the three amigos of the Playdate universe.
Thank you so much for listening. Let's get started.
Let's get started indeed. Don?
Yeah, we got something exciting from the top. At the top of the show, we've got a
Oh,
giveaway.
wait a minute. Wait,
We
hold on.
don't.
I was going to ask you a question. I was waiting for you to say
Okay.
what or yes, and that never came. You just you got right in there. You're getting down to business, which I appreciate. But I wanted to ask you first, are there any corrections? I don't see corrections. Did we avoid being corrected?
Was there a correction?
I don't know. Not a trick question, a sincere question.
Not that I can think of.
Okay. Well, right on. Well, I guess that means we can respectfully boop into the news and notes now, Don. Get on down to business.
Okay. So, as I was saying, we have a giveaway this month. Fev Games has generously donated an uncranked issue number 6 bundle. Zanya worked with Fev to offer it as a giveaway to one of our listeners. Now, the bundle contains the magazine, issue number 6, a bag, a tote bag, a pen, and a pair of Playdate socks, or uncranked socks, I should say. So there was some sort of shipping issue, and they worked it out to give this to a U.S.-based listener. So we can only mail it to someone located in the United States, unfortunately. But thank you so much, Fev and Zanya, for offering this to a listener. So the way you'll enter to win is we want you to email helloplaydatepodcast@gmail.com with a list of Fev games. It'll take a little bit of research, but I did a dry run and I tested it, and it only took me a minute to figure it out. So it's not that hard, but it's Fev Games, FEV Games, and you'll just email the list to helloplaydatepodcast@gmail.com. So again, thank you so much for this giveaway. It was really cool to reach out to us and offer it to a listener. And yeah, I think that covers it.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool.
thanks
So,
very much, Fev and
y-
Zanya.
yes,
Very
indeed.
cool.
I was going to ask a question on behalf of our dear listeners. So, pardon me if I tuned out there for a minute, but it's not the first email, right? Like you're going to accept multiple emails, but pick a
Oh,
random one. Is that the
yeah, yeah,
deal?
yeah. Sorry, I didn't cover that. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll give it to the next episode, and then I'll pick a random email. So you don't have to be the first out of the gate. I'll just put everybody in random.org and see who pops up. See who pops up. I don't know if my voice cracked there, but see who pops up under random.org and give it
Yeah.
away.
Well, we'll call it an internet fluke. How about that? In the meantime, looks like you've got a couple weeks from the release of this episode, which means get this to us before April 22nd in the email, and we'll take a look-see before our next episode and give the old announcy poo on that date that I just mentioned. So very nice, very nice. In the meantime, hey, Don and Nick, you know about this whole YouTube thing that we're on now. Nick, thank you very much. Before I mention this next one, did you know that YouTube is blowing up, like in terms of a very moderate way of blowing up, sort of like, sparklers, perhaps, but like these videos that have been released since we've started YouTubing are getting like dozens of views, and even our best of 2024 is like breathing down the neck of 100 views. That sounds crazy to me.
I had no idea.
Me neither. But I hopped over here because of one Nicholas Baldridge was like, hey, somebody said a thing. So I took a look, and old Crazy Productions, who you might know as the creators of Uncle Victor in Cyber Run, commented on our YouTube video to say, hey, this was our game. Thank you for covering it. I don't know if covering it is the right word, but I think Don did mention some experience with it. He said, I'll be pushing an update soon addressing some issues mentioned here. So Don was saying that he had, there was like this really tight time-based element associated with it.
Hmm.
And evidently the devs listened because they went on to say, this was our first game. Part of the difficulty issue was in the timer. We've temporarily disabled the timer. There was an unexpected bug where the timer was faster than it should have been. So I wrote back and asked, hey, will this upcoming update fix that timer issue? And when will it go live? And he responded saying, I am currently trying to make a what he calls a manual timer question mark. The issue I ran into was that the timer would decrease in multiples of the level that you're on. So for example, level 1 would be normal, then on level 2 it would go down in numerals of 2, and then in level 3, etc. So he said, I'll also be decreasing the amount of bits collected to unlock the next room. So, Don, it sounds like your concerns are being addressed. And a big thanks and props out to the KRAZ Productions for listening. And if you want to check out this game, Uncle Victor and Cyber Run, hey, how about we toss a link to that in the show notes of today's episode? Is that cool, Don?
Yeah, done and done. Yeah,
Okay.
I do remember this one. It was kind of like Pac-Man, but you had to collect every dot and like in a perfect pattern to
Hmm.
finish the level. And it was
Huh.
very, very challenging. But I
Interesting.
did notice that it has an update, and I downloaded it today. So I downloaded the update today. So I'll give it another shot. Thank
Right
you.
on. All right. Well, I have some more news for you because this is the news and notes section. I wanted to let you know that as of this recording, refurbished playdates are still available. So, this is something that I expected to be snatched up real quickly, especially with the price increase of Playdate recently, up to what is it, 229 or so. You can
Hmm.
get a refurbished Playdate for 179. And by golly, as of me speaking this right now on April 8th, 2025, they are still available. We're going to have a link to that in the show notes of today's episode if you want to race over there and check them out. But also, I think Dawn is chiming in here with another news and note. Dawn, you want to do this next one?
Yeah, crank repair kits are now available again. They were out of stock for a little while, but if your crank handle breaks off, they have like a little kit with an Allen wrench and whatnot, and I think they're 9.99 in the Playdate shop. So there'll be a
That's
link in
right.
the show notes. They're kind of buried in there, so you can use the link and go straight to ordering one.
Yeah, good call. Thanks for bringing that up. I get a little aggressive with my crank, and I've been really surprised that it's held up. My last play date, it held up. This play date is holding up just great. But if you're heavy-handed, hey, this is a good 9.99 fix if you need it. So thank you for bringing that to our attention, Don. Also, there's a new devlog from Stephen Rewind about the current making of his game Atlantic 41. This looks like there is an astounding amount of research going into this game. He's talking about some weather patterns and how that will affect gameplay and how it's being implemented. Nick, maybe you understand the implementation better than I do. We're going to have a link to this devlog, but there's a lot of like reading associated with what they're implementing and why in terms of like how historically accurate this is. It just looks unbelievable. So, if you're interested in the devlog stuff, we will have this one linked in our show notes from Stephen Rewind. Did either of you get a chance to read this?
No, I have not read it yet, but it looks very thorough. I'm just scrolling through right now, and
Yeah,
I've been looking
yeah.
forward to this game for a couple of years now. It looks amazing.
Totally. Yeah, you can see why it's taken a little bit. It's
Yeah.
copiously researched. Cool. Well, while you read that, I'm going to let you know about a little follow-up news and note. This is just a little tidbit here. Somebody made a cute Playdate Lego animation, and that someone was Zakator. And we're going to have a link to that in the show notes of today's episode. Just a little, 7-second animation of his play date he made out of Legos. So, a little joy in your life today. We could always use that, I imagine, right about now. So, with that said, how about we bring on some more joy with the uncranked corner? Did you guys like that introduction? That mouth trumpet? Is that something we should keep?
That's
Sure.
doable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're
I'll take
starting
it.
out with the fact that the next Uncranked Game Jam is happening in May. So that's coming up next month. We've got a itch page that we can link to now. Since we mentioned it last episode, the itch page has gone live, live, live. Themes are being announced May 2nd, but you got to sign up before May 3rd. The first prize is a play date, and I think that's all the information we've got for you about the next Uncranked Game Jam. Man, I feel like we're just wiping our brow from the last Uncranked Game Jam. We're already getting back into it. So, devs, I hope you've had a little sleep since then, ready to go for the next one, because we sure do love the entries. In fact, today we'll be talking about one of them in a little more depth. But before we get to that, let me also tell you that Uncranked is bringing the heat with the April Caption This contest. If you click over, there's a form that you can fill out, and there is a Patrick Meow Timer uh, illustration on the Playdate here, and he's very curious what you think he's saying or what you think this caption might be. So head over there, free to enter, free to play, all in good fun. Zanya, thank you for putting this together. And speaking of Zanya putting things together, she also put together what they are calling a narrative nexus. This is new. So we've had the Caption This contest for a whole month now, but that wasn't enough. Zanya craves more to do and has created Narrative Nexus, which is another uh, illustration from Zanya, but instead of a caption, you are charged with making a short story about what's happening here. So you can click over on the link in today's show notes to check out the narrative nexus. This picture looks like a little koala bear kind of guy in front of a Excalibur stone, a sword sticking inside a stone. I got a little tree action, a little rock and cavey action in the background. So what do you think is going on there? What story would you tell about this and a play date? So that's it for now, except for the fact that I have some more uncranked stuff to talk about. Now, this is a little less exciting. Due to the rising printing and shipping costs, there's going to be a price increase on May 1st for any new subscriptions. Now, we talked about a price increase last time, but it wasn't for subscriptions. This time around, it's for the subscriptions, and they're going up on May 1st. So you're getting this episode on April 8th, which means you got a few weeks to jump on a subscription at the currently listed price if you're interested. This is not going to affect the current subscribers as it's not time for renewal yet. So digital will remain at the same price. And Zanya told me print subscriptions are gone. Well, sort of. Here's how it works. You actually have two options moving forward. A digital option, which is remaining the same price, and what Zanya is calling a digit print option. So this digit print option basically means you are getting the print version. So yes, print is still here, but you are also, in addition to that, getting digital versions of Uncranked as well, in order to sort of offset that increased price. And she's going to send out the digital all at once to everybody. But because of, world activity, it might take a little longer to get to some places like the United States or elsewhere. So regardless of where you are, regardless of how long it takes to get you your physical copy of Uncranked, everybody's going to have that digital version straight out of the gate. So those are a little changes that are happening. And while Zanya is still working out the price, they said that there's going to be the pricing is going to be announced on the 17th episode of Uncranked TV that's going to release on April 25th. So that's a lot of stuff from Uncranked, but I did want to mention one more thing, which is the fact that you, yes, you, dear listener, if you so choose, can buy Zanya a coffee. Zanya's got a buymeacoffee.com page, and I hopped over there and just gave her a little thank you for everything she's doing for the Playdate community. I just, am I think there is a refrain that might be more frequent than our theme song in this podcast, and that is we are so incredibly in awe of Zanya. So if you too feel these feelings that we feel and repeat, then maybe hop over to the show notes of today's episode and click over to buymeacoffee.com/uncrankedpdzine. We will have that link in the show notes for today.
Very nice. Thank you so much for putting that together, Ryan.
Of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. Here for you, man.
There's a lot going on this month,
Yeah.
this week. Speaking of a lot going on, when it comes to Destination Playdate, one of our favorite YouTube channels, he released 3 episodes in the past 2 weeks. Uh,
What?
yeah,
Putting
highlighting
us to shame.
highlighting Horrified Hector, Space Shipment, and Tedison Inc. So go check those out. They're all pretty short, like 6 minutes or less, I think, all of them. And I watched them today. So good episodes. Go check them out.
Wild times. I don't understand how video producers do it that frequently. I mean, I feel like it's all we can do to get the three of us together to every couple weeks and to put out 3 episodes in that amount of time, plus video editing on top of it. Ah, get out of here. I
Yeah.
I
The
am not a
only
big fan of video editing because it takes so incredibly long. So all that to say, destination update, more power to you. Thank you for doing what you do.
Definitely. The only downside of our audio format is that no one can see the costumes that we purchase each episode.
Were, were there some good ones this week? I didn't click over to the thumbnails. Oh,
uh,
Space Shipment must have a good one, right?
I think it's like a Albert
Oh,
Einstein
nice.
thing.
Oopsies. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll watch that later.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that means we've booped our way into the indie inventory, which is largely a Dawn segment. So, Dawn, you want to tell us about, ooh, gosh, what's this? Mermaid stories?
Mermaid Stories. Yeah. From Swanksters. This is aimed at children. It's an easy to play, easy to read game designed for young players. But it takes you about 15 minutes to play through. But yeah, you guide Maya the mermaid as she helps her friend. And the reason I wanted to highlight this is the dev Soingsters Games created this adventure game for their 6-year-old who's learning to read. And I like highlighting these type of games because when my kids were that age, it was hard to find. It's hard to find many games for them that were worth playing, frankly. A lot of them were kind of throwaway. So I think this looks pretty sharp. I've downloaded it, haven't played, but yeah, looks cool. So check it out.
Totally.
Very
This,
cool.
oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Nick.
I said very cool. Yeah.
Ah,
And
excellent.
I agree. It's really neat that this was made in concert with the 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say this looks really lovely. It looks pulpy, but at the same time, it looks like they're going really out of their way to create some reasonable graphics for kids. Meaning, instead of the 8 by 8 pixel full body person player that you typically have in a pulp game, there's like, it looks like maybe double that. So you actually can get a sense of a mermaid tail and some flowing hair, and it's still quite minimal, but a lot more fleshed out than a typical pulp sprite.
Mhm.
So I like to see sort of pushing the boundaries there, if indeed they are using pulp. I don't know that it was mentioned on the itch page or not, but gives me a pulpy vibe. But very cool entry here with mermaid stories. And did we say it's free?
It's free. It's the first of a planned set of 4 games, which will be
Ah,
available later. And so the
oh
first one is
wow.
free. So
Very neat.
pretty cool. Yeah, this guy kind of the look is sort of like a Carol Blaster, maybe like a cave story, that level of quality, I guess. So anyway, cool.
Right on. Good find, Don.
There you go. Give it a shot. Next up by the dev Joe Man is Dropped. And this one I have played. This was advertised as a Wordle clone, but it is not. The letters will drop in to like a 5-lane pattern similar to Wordle, but they drop from the top down, like Tetris style, sort of. And the letters are over on the left side. And so you have an idea, kind of Tetris style, what letters are coming next, and then you get to select where you're going to drop them and try and spell words. So I think it said there was 14,000 words in its dictionary. Um, it's sort of like playing Scrabble quickly. The timer is not very punishing. Like I never felt like, oh crap, I got to spell something real quick. It was more like, oh no, where do I have to stack the letters to try and spell the word that I'm trying to get everything lined up to spell. Uh, so it's challenging, but it's an interesting take on a word game. If you like word games, I'd definitely give this a shot. This is Name Your Own Price. Again, this is the dev Joe Man or Jo Man. So anyway, give it a shot.
Huh, very cool. Cool new one. Looks like it was published right around the time we recorded our last episode and just got updated a couple days ago. So they're working on it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it's got achievements too. Love seeing that.
Ooh, we like that.
Yeah. And the next one is just a quick mention. We mentioned Pine by IntelliCat before, but the full game is out now. Chapter 3 was released, or Act 3 was released this week. So go play the full thing now. It's $3.
Hmm. A steal
Um,
at twice the price.
there you go. This is one that I have not dipped into yet, but downloaded quite a while ago and want to give it a shot. So check it out.
Cool. Well, thanks for the update, Don. What
Yeah.
about the improbable quiz?
The Improbable Quiz by Power Dive Games is $5,000 or name your own price, but the suggested price of $5,000. It's 20 questions and it's a quiz game. But the catch is if you get a question wrong, you have to start the whole quiz over again. And it's very silly. This was released, I think, on April 1st, or it's definitely got an April Fool's Day vibe. So it's there's sort of like jokes, and then if you get the joke wrong, if you get the punchline wrong, you gotta start over. So it's tricky. I did not get very far. I got through maybe 5 questions. So it's a little bit of Simon Says because you got to remember the answers as you go. So anyway, pretty
I,
funny.
I I see your angry comment here. Set genre to impossible.
Yeah. They there was an update where they changed the genre to yeah, educational. That's what they got here. So I was responding to that. Okay. Next up is Coda by Simon Gander or Gonder. This is a sci-fi adventure. This one downloaded, haven't played. It's usually $3, currently on sale for $1.98. This one just looks really
Whoa.
cool.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
I think it might be made in pulp. Yeah, yeah. Pushes the limits of the pulp engine. It's a sci-fi game. It's got a narrative, sci-fi narrative, a mystery to be solved, secrets to discover, test your dexterity, and that might that might be hard for me. But and then it only has small amounts of English text. So if you're a non-English speaker, then you should be able to complete the game, which is really cool. But yeah,
Wow.
the art looks amazing, so I definitely want to check this out.
Totally. This looks bonkers, even just from the header image that they
Hmm.
obviously put a ton of time into, to the screenshots. I mean, this was published 6 days ago. I can't imagine this is not going to see a catalog release real soon.
Yeah, this looks like a no-brainer for a catalog at some point.
Hmm. Yeah.
So again, that's Coda by Simon Gander. And then last up from the itch store is Shipper by Zoinkarino Dev. And this is a roguelite. Let's see, top-down roguelite survival arena roguelike. And I tried to buy it, and I don't know if Itch is having problems today or what the deal is. Usually €3, currently on sale for $1.50. It just looks fun. Like it just looks like a real basic roguelike, but it looks really smooth. The gifts look smooth. You choose your items after you finish a round. I don't know. It just looks appealing to me, and
Hmm.
it's
Yeah.
bugging me that I can't buy it and check it out. So
Hmm.
hopefully I can figure that out and give it a shot.
So
So
what was the problem you were having? Because I click on buy it now and it looks like it's going to let me.
I click on yeah, I'll click on buy it now, and I had this problem with Coda too. Um, so I'll try to buy it. This one you have to like because it's in euros, you have to enter your address and stuff, and then just gets hung up
Hmm.
on that address screen after I
Oh, okay.
like while it's
Huh.
trying
Uh,
to.
it's an itch
Bummer.
thing. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, what's
now it's working. Now it's going over to PayPal.
Oh,
oh good. Good.
Okay, so a
I was
couple
getting
hours
worried
ago it
when
was hung up.
I was getting worried when you said it was happening with Coda too, because man, I want to grab that.
Yeah, Coda, it was hung up trying to get. Okay, it let me purchase shipper. It was hung up trying to even get to PayPal. So it must have been an
do you think
issue.
it's shipper or shaper?
Might be shaper. Yeah, I don't know. Good question. I'll have to leave a comment and find out. Corrections for next week.
There we go.
We need some.
Nick, are you interested in running through the catalog games this week?
Let's find out together. All right. First up, we have.
P.S. Oh, I'm sorry, Nick. I don't want to interrupt you, but I do want to give a
Mhm,
brief update
mhm.
to say,
Yes.
to say that I just purchased Coda, so that seems to be working.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Ryan.
You got it.
Thanks, Ryan. Okay. Are we prepared? It is
I'm gonna
time.
I'm gonna interrupt you again in a minute, but go ahead.
I'm going to interrupt you right now, and then Don can come in a little bit.
Okay. Um, well, I was going to tell you all about a game called Traffic Jam, and this is currently $5 on catalog, and it's made by Ray. Uh, so this game appears to be a rhythm game, and in a little call out box here, it says guide the traffic to the beat. Don't get swept up off your feet. Uh, Nebulous construction works a tough job, and somebody has to manage the traffic going in and out. Luckily, you happened to be around when they were scrambling in a blind panic to find somebody who could do it. Can you master the new rhythm based method of guiding these overzealous cars? This looks really fun. I love a good rhythm game, and
Oh boy, there's
Always
leaderboards.
Ray always has these very imaginative graphics and very smooth animations. So, um, looking forward to checking that one out. That again is Traffic Jam. It's $5 on catalog. All right.
Oh, here's where
Next
I'm
up.
gonna end. Here's where I'm gonna interrupt you. We forgot in the
Mhm.
news segment that there's the Ray Jam coming up
Oh
on
yeah.
April 21st. Let's see,
The what
submissions
now?
are Ray. Ray is hosting the Ray Jam, a Playdate game jam.
Oh, I got caught unawares.
Yeah, I forgot. I meant to put it in our show notes and I forgot about it. So my apologies to Ray. But it's a Playdate game jam. It runs from April 21st to April 28th. So about 12 days from now, you'll get a reminder. It'll be in the middle of our next show. Our next show will be in the middle of the jam, I should say. But yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes now so you can check it out. But you'll hear a
Golly.
reminder next time
I
around.
just I just grabbed the link, Don. Don't worry about it. I'm going to put
Oh,
it in our
okay.
show notes so you don't need to do that as
Okay.
well.
Thank you, sir.
You got it.
25 people have already joined.
Jimmy Beans.
Nice.
Wow.
Okay, Nick. No more interruptions.
All
For
right. I'm
now.
going to interrupt you both, and I'm going to talk about Rocket Pult Mini. And this is by Parse Noir. And the call out says launch a rocket from a catapult and land with skill and style. And it is exactly what it says on the tin. We've talked about this game before when it came out on Itch, I believe.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, last
And
week.
And a
oh,
few weeks prior as well.
that recently. Okay. This is $5 on catalog. Welcome to catalog. Okay. Next up. Oh, and the name of the game was Rocket Pult Mini. Okay. Next up, we've got PD Tour. And PD Tour is a fun arcade style golf game with crank based inputs.
Don, are you listening?
There's
I'm
27 holes
listening.
over 3 courses with varying difficulty. There are water holes, bunkers, trees, and even birds all over the courses to provide a varied and challenging experience. Use the crank to aim and perform your swing. The speed and length of your swing determines your power. If you get a perfect hit, you can even use the crank to apply spin to the ball after the hit. That's
Oh,
cool.
hello.
Improve your scores to get the best possible high score, Ryan.
But no
All right.
leaderboards yet.
I don't see leaderboards
No,
just
me
yet.
neither.
So this is PD Tour. It was made by Rickard Tiden, and it is $3 on catalog.
Hey Don, there was a moment last year where you had this run of golf games. You would only allow us to play golf games, and there was one sort of side scroller golf game you had us play. This is giving me that vibes. What was that game?
I don't remember a side scroller. I
I
remember
remember it, but I don't remember the title.
Yeah,
you
I
had
Apologize.
was
us play one called something. I'm
Ooh, the
looking.
tables have turned, Ryan.
You had us play one,
I don't think
yes.
I picked the golf game.
You picked one. I'm looking. I'm almost there.
Riveting podcasting.
I picked four track. You picked no caddy included, which is side scrolling.
You what? Really? Me?
Brian Claytor
I'm
chose no
I'm gonna
caddy
look into
included.
this and
Okay.
and see if we might have a correction in our future
Wow.
episode.
Oh, all right.
You hear this?
Oh, I hear it.
All right. Hey, let me
Big-
interrupt you guys from your fight
Yes.
and talk to you.
My brain
Talk
is
to you.
1 year younger, fresher.
Let's talk about Tedison Inc. And this is by Mirror Door Interactive and $3 on catalog. This is a relaxing incremental game about building an electricity empire to take over the world. You discovered how to make electricity with a bike in a dusty warehouse. Build new ways of generating more electricity until you have an electricity empire. Maybe you'll even take over the world. It features big numbers, lots of upgrades, interesting network mechanic, reset meta progression, and a mini story told at certain milestones. There are 36 Don in-game badges to collect.
Fantastic.
And with certain upgrades, a crank will remain useful for a long time. This
Okay.
game is Tedison Inc., and it was made by Mirador Interactive, and it's $3 on catalog.
Can I offer a correction real quick?
Absolutely.
May, let's see, May 8th, 2024, no caddy included.
Oh my God.
Pick of the week. Next pick of the week, Mad City, which I know for sure was my pick of the week. So it
Mhm.
would be impossible for me to have two in a row.
True. Although it could have been a Nick pick. I so don't remember. Okay. We're gonna get to the bottom of this off air and then we'll report back
Do-
next
Heavy
episode.
sigh.
That'll be our
Let's
cliffhanger for
let's
everybody to
continue
tune in
investigating this. Yeah.
next episode.
This is the episode with special guest Garrett, who left us a voicemail on the bingo tip line.
I
724 bingos
remember.
one. That's
I remember that.
724-246-4671.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess it's possible. I'll have to go listen to one of our episodes and see if you're right.
We're being so rude to Nick right now.
Ryan concedes nothing.
I'm seeing that in real time right now.
I'm not ready. I'm not
Learning
ready
that.
for a conceit. I'm gonna have to
Okay.
listen to this
He-
episode
He
and
chooses
hear.
disbelief.
Allow me to put a link in our chat so that you can
I'm
listen
gonna
to
I'm
it
gonna have
while
to
the
see
rest of us are.
just how wrong I was.
Hey,
Thank you for the
guys,
link.
guys, I've got a great idea. Let's just
Does
play
it
that entire episode right now
Replace it right now. Yeah.
and just splice it right in.
all right, Don, if
Okay.
you're
That's too
right,
much editing work.
if you're right, I'll send you a re-edited episode saying that it's not me who picked the game, and then you can upload that, okay?
If I'm right, no more boops the rest of the year.
I don't concede that either.
All right.
Well,
If I'm right, no boops next episode. Dead silence.
Wow.
Oh, I'll give you that.
Refuses-
I'll give you that.
Refuses to entertain.
I will give you that. Yes. Okay. If you're right, Don. Okay, Don. Here's how it's gonna go. If you are right, I will not boop next episode. If I am right, you gregariously boop us into every segment next episode.
It's a deal. I mean, you could have said
Okay.
whatever. You could have asked for whatever your heart desires because I know I'm right. So, deal.
How did I pick a golf game and not know about it? My mind.
Bro,
Okay.
both of you shoot from the hip.
No, I copiously research my games that I pick. I
Okay.
don't know what you're talking about, this you guys stuff.
Y'all
Mm-mm.
shoot from the hip.
All right.
Okay,
So enough quibbling. How about we
Nicholas,
crabble together? You want to talk about some crabble,
I
Nick?
crave the Crabble.
That's right. It's Crabble, made by Dog Games or D-Dog.
The
Uh,
dog.
That's not a typo.
yeah, it's not.
You I think it's D dog. That's what I think it is.
Okay. Um, thank you
The
for the.
dog. Sorry. That was very,
Cra-
very Caucasian of you, Nick.
Crabble, Ryan, is a Faudian platformer game where the player controls a sticky creature trying to jump all the way to the top of a large mountain. Beware! Some parts of the mountain are slippery and can lead to you losing a large part of your progress. The game is quick to play through, but it's very replayable. Try again and again to get a better time. Everything that you see was programmed, drawn, and designed by Gungu. And Crabble is $3 on catalog.
I
Okay,
see.
I just learned something. Can I tell you what I learned? It doesn't have anything to do with my golf pick.
Is it
I
factual?
promise.
Okay.
Okay.
So I had never heard the term Faudian platformer game. Have you guys?
Oh, yes.
Bennett Foddy?
Yep.
Well, evidently, Google AI is telling me that Faudian games are often called rage platformers and are a genre of video games characterized by incredibly difficult, often unforgiving, and frustrating gameplay, typically involving precise movements and punishing consequences for mistakes. This sounds like a Nick game. Nick loves
Yeah.
punishing games.
Developer Bennett Foddy is famed for producing those types of games, so that's why it's a
Aha.
Foddian game.
Hmm.
Okay. Google AI left that part out. Thank you, Nick.
Hmm.
Did he do a Playdate
Um,
game? Yeah, he did Zipper,
he did Zipper.
which
Yep.
is not a very Foddian game.
Really?
Not
I
in
thought
the
that was pretty
traditional
punishing.
sense. It's
No.
punishing, but it's not a climb to the top of a mountain and then make one tiny mistake and roll all the way back down, or try to run, but you're a horse and you have to control each leg individually. That's the kind of
What?
game
Is
that
that a
we're
real
talking about.
thing?
Yeah, it's called a QWOP.
Oh my gosh.
My son is always asking when his Baby Steps game is coming out. Is Baby Steps out yet? Baby Steps out yet? Nope, not yet.
Huh. Um, well, that is the end of catalog games, except let's see what's on sale.
I can read them all this week. It's just one. It's
Okay,
Orbo, and it's on sale for 40% off from $5 to $3.
nice.
Love it.
Okay.
All right. So, Dawn, this is how it works next week when I'm a bunch of right. You have to go like this. And now we're ready for the hoobity boop, 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 boop pick of the week. And this week it's from moi. I picked a game called Lunorbit.
The final boops
Lunorbit.
of April right there.
And this time, Lunorbit is boy, how do we describe this game? This is like if Hypermeteor and Tempest had a nice evening together, and out popped Lunorbit. It's sort of a radial spaceship smash 'em up asteroids game, but the trick of this one is that you've got a moon right in the center of this radial playfield. And the moon, as you know, creates some gravitational force. There's a gravitational field about the moon. And because of that, your ship is kind of like constantly pulled back toward the moon. It affects your trajectory. And there's sort of like this gravitational yo-yo effect with how you move your ship, which at first, when I tried it, I found it to be a little confusing. But after maybe three, four, half a dozen games, I was hooked on this game. Like the same way I was hooked with Hypermeteor, the same way I was hooked with Whitewater Wipeout, and in much a similar context as Whitewater Wipeout, and not thematically, of course, but because this one's in space, not on a wave, but similar to Whitewater Wipeout, very crank based, and also a little unintuitive at first. I remember having a difficult time with Whitewater Wipeout to begin with, but once I finally got the hang of that crank action, oh, I couldn't put it down. And I felt the same way with Lunorbit. I don't think I've said that this is by Power Dive Games. So Power Dive Games has made over 20 games for the Playdate. Did you guys know this? I think I mentioned this last time. Just an incredibly prolific dev. And was part of was it the Uncranked Game Jam? I'm trying to think of what Game Jam it was because there's been so many recently. Do you guys recall offhand?
Play Jam 7.
Play Jam 7. Okay, there we go. So part of a play jam, and boy, howdy, is this game ever polished. It feels like it's ready to hop straight into catalog. In fact, there was an announcement that it is going to catalog and that Power Dive is working on some, quality of life improvements, but it is completely and utterly playable as is. So over the past 14 days, some Hello Playdate podcast listeners, and I have been duking it out for top scores. And maybe I'll save that little cliffhanger until after my esteemed co-hosts have some thoughts about their experience with Lunorbit. So, guys, what did you think about this, the very best game we've played all year?
Well, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, this is the physics felt really good. You're slingshotting back and forth. I think it's really smart that you can just hit the asteroids with any part of your ship. You don't have to worry about shooting them. You don't have to worry about hitting them with the tip of your ship. As rubber bandy as it is, as the way the physics work, I think if there was an added complication of having to get it just right or shoot it, it would be a lot less fun. It feels a little silly like this, and it's perfect. Um, a perfect mix of fun, I guess. Just being able to sling around. I like the indicators in that the moon kind of has different phases for its health bar. Like it gets darker and darker as you lose health and take
Yes.
damage. I thought that was really smart. And I like the shapes of the meteors. Kind of, they just have more chunks taken out of them to change the size of them. I realize that this is an audio podcast, so it's not super easy to understand what I'm talking about. But if you see one screenshot, it's very evident. Think of a cookie with multiple bites taken out of it, and then the more bites taken out, the smaller the asteroid gets. Um, yeah, it's still pretty challenging though. It was fun, kind of kicking in reverse and smashing my butt into an asteroid, and like, oh, thank goodness I saved it, and then whipping back around to try and grab another one. I think this would be a little more interesting on a bigger screen, or not interesting. I think it would just change the gameplay if it was a bigger screen because there were times where I was like, oh crap, I didn't see that there were asteroids coming from the opposite side of
Hmm.
the screen because the screen is so small. But still, for a high score chaser, it does just what it needs to do, in my opinion. But Nick, what did you think?
Yeah, I really like games with gravitational pull as a mechanic, and especially when it's around some sort of celestial body. So you really get that ricochet action, or sort of a magnetic sling, um, as and it allows you to rocket around really nicely. So I enjoyed the speed and the build up, and also smashing through some rocks. That was fun. Um, I am, however, quite terrible at the game. So at some
Um,
point, hopefully, I'll be able to sit down with it and try to knock out some higher scores than I've achieved to this point. But the music is great, what I've heard of it so far, and I expect that continues to improve as your skills improve too. So, um, yeah, good pick. Enjoyed it.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear you guys enjoyed it because I was a little afraid you didn't. I I didn't hear you chiming into our Discord thread all week, so I was like, "Oh boy, I'm in for it this week." But with that said, there were a number of folks in that Discord thread, and one of them happened to be Power Dive Games, who revealed that this game is made entirely in code. So there's no sprite work at all. And even the numbers in the game, like the score, is from, I don't know, calculating vectors or something. It's beyond me what they're doing to create these graphics, but evidently there are no sprites in this game, which I found very interesting. Uh, Nick, you mentioned the music in the game. This was a point that I was going to bring up that I thought the music was fantastic and even the sound effects, which were minimal, I thought were perfect. The sound you get when your ship rockets through an asteroid is so satisfying, this like satisfying ka-chunk. And then when the asteroids run into the moon, there's like a mildly different ka-chunk. It does not sound quite like your asteroid hitting, or I'm sorry, your ship hitting an asteroid, which I thought was really cool. It gives you some audio feedback that, hey, something different has happened, and that's not quite what you want. So, in terms of audio, this really resonated with me too. And Dawn, thank you for bringing up the moon phases. So, yes, you have 5 hits on your moon. The first hit goes down to a 3/4 moon, then a half, then a quarter, then a nothing. And while the what is that? That's not a full moon. What's the
A
not
new
full
moon?
moon? Dark side of the moon. Anyway, when the moon's entirely dark, that's you're not done, but next hit, you're done. So that's how the game progresses, and the more meteors that hit your moon, the closer you are to ending your game. Um, Something we did not cover is scoring. So I did not understand this from booting up the game. There's no tutorial. I don't think you need it to play this game. It's pretty intuitive, except for this nuance about scoring. I did not know how each meteor scored differently because when I would hit meteors, they would score differently. And so I asked in our Discord channel, Power Dive Games, hey, how does this scoring work? And they said there is a calculation for speed. So the slower you hit it, the less points you get for destroying a meteor. The faster you hit a meteor, the more points you get for destroying it. So I was once I figured that out, I was having some more fun trying to kind of push those limits. I felt like it gave the game a little longer legs for me, understanding that. Um, did you guys know that to begin with, or was that not clear to you?
I was just trying to survive.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I noticed a scoring difference based on how uh, things played out.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like this game has quite a number of nuances that I could wax about till the cows come home, as they say. Um, but I also wanted to talk about our Discord, where we had a number of folks chiming in there and really pushing the high scores for this game. Initially, Power Dive Games had posted on the itch page, P.S. My high score is 7,084. I'd love to know if you beat it. And then there was, a mild handful of us in the Discord channel for this game. I think it was me and Dino and Scotty. We were all in there trying to chip away at this. I think I was the first one to get past Power Dive's high score of 7,000. I got 7,000 something. And then I believe Scotty was in pretty short order after that, boosting it up a little bit, but still within the 7,000s. Then Dean comes in. Should have known he was waiting in the wings with an 8,000 point score. And I was thinking that's got to be it. Like you can't go past that, right? And then Scotty comes in with a 10,000 point score. I don't know how much you guys played this game, but I played it a lot. That is a ridiculous score. And I thought, okay, I've maxed it. I've maxed out my game at 7,000 something. I was chipping away, getting a little more, 7,000 this, 7,000 that. And then I had a breakout game that was like 9,000 something or another, 9,400. And so I guess Dean's still out there trying to best that one at this point. But Scotty's got the top spot with his 10 grand. Oh my God. So anyway, that was a ton of fun duking it out with you guys these past couple weeks. I really had a fun time trying to get up there with you guys. Really keep me honest about this thing and keeping me humble. Scotty, thank you. You too, Dean. That 8,000 point score. Oh, what a monster. Wow. So, do you mind if I ask you guys what your top score was for this? This is not a shame session. I'm just curious, with a more reasonable number of plays, what folks are getting.
That was the main reason I didn't post. It's because my score was nowhere near where you guys are at. My high score was 1865.
Okay, cool. Nick?
I think mine was 703.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my 11-year-old son beat both of you. I think he hit 2,900 today. We were just hanging out before his track practice today, and well, here, give this a whirl. And he beat his former high score of, I think it was in the 17, 1800s or so. And
Nice.
yeah, he was really getting the hang of it. I told him that's a really great score.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think with a little practice, this game's mechanics really come into focus. Uh, like I said, it really had that whitewater wipeout, crank heavy, steep learning curve to it. But once you get it, oh gracious, this was just so much fun. And I've I don't know if you guys felt this way when you were playing, but the games felt so intense to me. My hands would start sweating like waterfalls, and I found myself at the end of the game having gripped the crank so hard that I'd have indentations in my fingers. And at one point, I was playing it so long that I think I lost sensation in my forefinger and thumb for like a few hours afterward. This was
Don,
such an intense gameplay.
I
Did
think
you
I think we
experience
need
any
to
of this, or am
we
I
need to
alone?
stop the podcast.
Okay.
Ryan's really. I think we need to get him to a hospital. Things are not looking
Intervention.
good for
Oh
Ryan.
man. Well,
No, I was not quite that gripped, Ryan. I'm
okay.
sorry to say. I did manage to hit like 3 or 4 rocks before I died. In the
Well,
handful of
good.
plays
I'm
that I
proud
was
of
able
you.
to put on. Yes,
Very good.
yeah,
All right.
but I
Well,
did not death grip the system until I was unable to feel.
I can tell I am alone in this group here, but maybe others feel similarly hype about this game. Um, oh, P.S. Another thing I found about this game for those who are wanting to push these max scores, one thing that helped me was strapping on this purple grippy thing. I believe it was Ledbetter Games who sent this to me, if I'm remembering correctly. Is that right?
Hmm.
The purple
Yeah.
grippy
Yes.
thing? Yeah. So Ledbetter, thank you so much for sending me this. I feel a little silly saying this, but this is the first time since he sent it to me, what was this, a couple years ago at this point, that I've strapped this on my Playdate. But I was holding this game and getting my mega grip on, and after a game was over, my left hand from holding it was just like, oh, cramping up. And Ledbetter, thanks to you and your purple super grip, I was able to hit some of those high scores. So thank you for gifting me with this. It's really such a magnificent little add-on, and I can't believe it took me so long to use this. My only question is, maybe you guys can answer this. There's like a little slot in the back. I shouldn't say little. It's like half the size of the Playdate. There's a half the Playdate size slot in the back of this purple grippy thing. Do you know what that's for?
It's for
Yeah.
attaching a light, Ryan.
Don't tease me. A
No,
light?
that's where I have my light.
You have a
Yeah.
light?
Yes, right.
Ryan, where you been, man?
I'm playing Lunorbit, I guess. Trying to heal my hands. Anyway,
If you look at,
Don,
so I was going to ask you about the 10,000 point score. If you look at it, like the screen has like 50 asteroids on it. But if you look at the top of the screen, there are three prongs coming out. That's where his light is inserted into his grip. He's got a yellow grip. Are you looking at Scotty's
indeed.
Discord? Yeah, he's got
Yes.
that. That is his light shining down on it in his
Is that
grip.
right? Huh.
He's got
Interesting.
the same one I have. Yeah.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
And
Okay.
it's just a reading light, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's a
Yeah.
bookmark.
Ah, okay. Thank you for educating me. Now I
I'll send you
understand.
a link and a picture.
Neat. Got it. Um, so bringing it back to Lunorbit, Don and Nick, do you guys have any closing thoughts about this wonderful game?
Well, does it get up to having that many? Is that a glitch or something, or are there that many asteroids in there?
No, so when I had my 9,400 point game, uh, there starts to be a lot of asteroids, but the moment that you fail, the asteroids really start coming at you like that. So
Oh,
in
okay.
gameplay, the number of asteroids were not that many, but the moment I failed at 9,400, then they all started spawning.
Okay.
So I don't believe that that is gameplay footage. I believe Scotty snapped that right after failure.
Okay. That makes sense because he would have kept playing if he had that many on screen.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. Oh,
Nick, any final thoughts?
I was going to mention it would have been fun to have some variety to the meteors, like, oh, here's a double scoring meteor, or here's a flashing one that does something special, or an invincibility one, or there's room to put something like that in there for
Yeah,
the
totally,
catalog.
totally.
You're
And
you're looking
Dino,
for the Arkanoid version of Lunorbit.
There you go. Yeah.
And Dino had a great suggestion about a couple things that I wanted to bring up. So these are not Ryan Big Brain ideas. These are Dino ideas. So Dino was mentioning it would be cool if there was some sort of a combo system with the meteors. So if you're really smacking them left and right, then you're gaining more points for it, which I thought was a cool suggestion to change up gameplay a little bit. And another Dino suggestion was that there's a kill button of some sort, which at first I thought, it's not that big a deal. But then once I started getting into those super high scores, I completely agree with Dino that a kill button, a restart button of some sort would be really helpful because
Mm.
if you get a moon smack or two in the first like 1,000 or 2,000 points and you're going for those real high scores, it's like, I may as well just reset it at this point. And without that reset button, you have to wait around for multiple meteors to hit the moon before it restarts the game. So yeah, I'm hoping that Power Dive Games will include something like that in the catalog version. And oh, there was one more thing that I wanted to mention. I think the start of this game is so genius. Just the cranking to start aspect, where that circle comes out from the moon. And once it's at its proper size, then the game starts up. I thought that was so simple and crank based for this completely crank mechanic game. Really well done, Power Dive. I am still in awe that this was created as a game jam game, and I cannot wait to see what you do with it once it gets to catalog. I'll be there too.
Yeah, very impressive, and I agree that that crank to start mechanic is really cool.
Yeah.
Um, it really sets the stage, sets the
Yep.
tone.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole game just so lean and so performant, as Nick likes to say. Yeah, just chef's kiss. Nice work. All right. Well,
Mhm.
speaking of Nick, Nick, you've got the pick for next episode. You want to tell us about it?
My pick of the week is Escape the Arcade,
Ooh,
Very nice.
and that is by Julie Bjornskov, and it is currently $8 on catalog. It's also available on itch.
Rad. So this is one of those sort of escape room games, yes?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool.
yeah. I
And
just
did
started.
Julie,
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, did the Bjornskovs not just come out with another escape
They
game
did.
too?
Yes.
Okay,
Escape the board game. Yeah, I just started playing that this week. It.
neat.
I saw they posted. It came out exactly 1 year ago after Escape the Arcade. So Escape the
Oh,
Arcade just came out a year ago.
what a coinky dink.
Yeah,
That's cool.
great pick, Nick.
Awesome. Well, I
Thank
look
you.
forward to playing it. My family and I have been on an escape room kick recently, and by kick, I mean we went to one and enjoyed it. So I'm sure this will be really fun.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, you know what it's time for. It's time for the end show notes, which means I tell you that you can listen to our podcast on playdatepodcast.com. It's also on the podcast listening platform of your choice, as well as the YouTubes. You can go to youtube.com/ at Hello Playdate Podcast if that is your platform of choice. You can also find us on Blue Sky. That's, the Blue Ski profile, the Blue Ski everything / helloplaydate.blueski.social. You can also email us if you want a direct link to emailing a one Donathan Walton. That's at helloplaydatepodcast@gmail.com. Don, thanks for checking that. And finally, if you would like to be our second ever voice on the podcast who calls in, you can call that Bingo's tip line at 724 Bingo's 1. That's 724 246 4671. That's a really for real phone number. We really for real will include you in our show today. And after I listen to evidently the one episode that featured someone and find out how right I was, boy, you'll be hearing some Don Boops next episode. I hope everyone's ready for that.
Oh, if you're right, then I will boop away.
They've got to be exuberant though. Exuberant Don Boops.
I will be exuberant.
Okay.
I promise.
I really hope I'm right.
Okay, we'll find out next episode.
Bye bye,
Thanks
everyone. Thank
all.
you for listening. You're the
Thanks,
best.
everybody. Bye.